Here's the second chapter from Skye's Rainbow's Journey. As with most young ones, the older they get, the more they adventure farther and farther away from home. Skye was no different. Her Papa Salty would still see her from his high, lofty view in the lighthouse, but Skye could be as far as a day's journey away. So over dinner one evening, Papa Salty gave Skye a warning about some of the dangers that she might face while she was traveling. Gnomes have no problems with other creatures in the world. They can talk to most animals and often provide these animals and bugs and birds and reptiles with help whenever the need arises. Gnomes have been known to tell rabbits that a fox is nearby hunting them, and then tell the foxes where to get grapes to eat instead of the rabbits. They have helped fallen birds back into their nest, and when they were too young to fly, and they have led all manners of creatures to safety during forest fires. But there is one animal that has always been the enemy of the gnomes: the cat. Gnomes and cats have never gotten along together. No one really knows why, but many a gnome has met their end at the paws of a cat. Papa Salty explained to Skye how cats hunt gnomes by moving slowly up from behind and pouncing on a gnome when they were unaware. If you think a cat's on your trail, walk in a big circle and see if you can find upon your own tracks again. If you see cat tracks there too, then you know a cat be hunting you. You need to get to the lighthouse for your protection. Well, it was a good thing that Papa Salty talked to Skye that night, because 2 nights later, Skye found herself a long, long way from home. In fact, it was the farthest she had ever traveled. Skye was first searching for some chipmunks or rabbits to talk to about maybe a good place to camp nearby for the evening, but there were none around. How strange, she thought. There's always animals nearby. So she decided to ask the birds instead. Okay, something's really strange. The birds are gone. Then, out of the corner of her eye, she thought she saw movement. But there was nothing there. It was almost as she felt a movement. Then the thought crossed her mind like a hot ember. Am I being hunted? Very quickly, she did exactly what her papa told her to do and made a big circle to the right. Once she reached the spot to find her own footsteps again, she froze for a moment. Cat tracks! Right on top of her footprints. Skye knew that she had to get back to the lighthouse, but it was so far away. Could she make it without the cat catching her? She had to try. The forest around her was thick and heavy. This was in her favor. The cat would want to attack once she was out in the open, so Skye stayed right by the biggest trees, moving from tree to the next tree, never being out in the open. For most of the journey, the cat was following Skye's scent. When Skye realized this, she started doing some backtracking. The cat would get confused and follow the wrong scent trail for a while, giving Skye more time to make her way home. All through the night, the hunted followed the hunter. Skye was so tired. She didn't know if she was going to make it. Surely the cat was going to catch up with her. And in that moment, the figure of the cat came into her view. It had not seen her, but it was following her scent trail. The end of the hunt was nearly over. In that moment, Skye and the cat locked eyes. Skye was frozen in fear. The cat tensed every muscle of its body, ready to spring into action, waiting for Skye to move. It was so dark, Skye could only see those eyes locked onto hers. This is it, she thought. It all ends here. But then it happened. A light exploded into the darkness. It was so powerful, Skye could almost feel and hear it as much as see it. The light landed straight into the eyes of the cat, blinding it. The light was so strong that Skye could see Cat's shining black coat and white front paws. In its confused state, the cat tumbled backwards, and in a clumsy bounce, Skye turned to the light and spotted the familiar outline of the lighthouse. Her pathway was lit up. She knew where to run. Just as a short distance away was the open field. How am I going to get through that open field without getting caught, she thought. But now was the time for action. Skye took off running while the cat was still confused. Then the lighthouse light shut off. Skye's eyes could not focus back into the darkness, but she knew where she was and which way the direction of the lighthouse was. She never slowed down. She was running as fast as her legs could carry her. But by now the cat kind of regained its senses and was now starting to chase Skye again. Just as their eyes were adjusting back to the darkness, the blast of light came back on from the lighthouse. It was so bright. Pain from her eyes caused tears, but Skye kept on running. She heard the cat cry and stopped running for a moment. Skye was in the middle of the open field. Again, the cat's eyes had adjusted and about to see an easy target in the open. The cat sprang into motion. It was so fast, gaining on Skye with an unbelievable speed. With Skye now in full bright light without any place to hide, her only hope was to get to her cucumber fence. So off she ran as fast as she could. Then the light moved from the cat's eyes to the cucumbers. Skye could not understand why her papa did not try to keep the cat blinded with a beam. Somehow she knew it didn't matter. The cat was so close. With its focus on Skye, it was ready to pounce. So close, she thought. I was so close to making it. She could feel it coming. She turned her head to see the cat in midair. Again, their eyes locked. Skye turned back to the cucumber fence to see if there was any way that she was going to reach it in time. And the cat followed Skye's gaze. For the first time, the cat caught sight of the cucumbers. And somehow, in midair, it managed to change its direction. Skye could not believe what her eyes were seeing. How did the cat change directions? Why was it stopping trying to get her? The cat made a horrible landing and came up scrambling in fear. It was trying to avoid the cucumbers as if it was a life was at stake. The light moved back to its eyes, and now real panic set in. Skye did not know animals could move in so many directions at the same time. Finally, with all of its legs under it, the cat took off running back to the woods and disappearing within seconds. Skye was left breathless and in a complete state of befuddlement. What scared the cat away? Papa Salty stepped out of the cucumbers and hugged Skye so tight. That was a close one, Lassie. That was close. But what scared the cat away? Skye asked. Why, 'twas the cucumbers, of course. Cats are scared to death of 'em. Skye hugged Papa Salty. You mean all of this time the effort we spent growing cucumbers was for protection? I never knew. Aye, protection, yes, but there's no better tasting fence in all of the shores either. The end of the chapter. We'll do chapter 3 next time. But for now, let's do one more little song. You got the sleepy blue eyes, sleepy blue eyes, sleepy blue eyes looking up at me. You got those sleepy blue eyes, sleepy blue eyes smiling at me, smiling at me. You got those sleepy blue eyes, sleepy blue eyes, sleepy blue eyes looking up at me. Got the sleepy blue eyes, sleepy blue eyes, smiling at me, smiling at me. It doesn't matter to me if you're 103. You'll always be my baby. Good night, baby.